Hello, my name is Balanstow, the Cosmic Chief. Sitting down today here in our workspace area where all the transformation takes place within our energies. As you can see behind me, we have our tables with our tools and variations of stones and fossils and crystals and things that all have various vibrations along with feathers. It's a wonderful opportunity to come back in and spend that time with you today. I'm grateful for all the things that are happening in my life, as well as I'm grateful for all the things that are happening in your life. Remember, as we communicate in life, today is a lesson of communication. Today is a lesson of communication. How many of you ask yourself daily, who you are, why people can't understand you? What conflicts come out of conversation? What joy comes out of conversation? Today is a beautiful day, just like yesterday was, and tomorrow shall be. Think of your life in that manner. Think of your communication skills in that manner. You know, there's 7 ways to communicate. And in my belief, these 7 ways answer a lot of individual questions that you might have for yourself when you communicate with others. Especially as you proceed in this area of ascension. Ascension is a very tough area to communicate in. Not everybody gets it. And to be honest, probably only about 3% of the population is truly awakened to a point where they can go out and teach, share, confide. Where are you at in that awakening process? Have you considered yourself even to be awakened? And that's a good question right off the bat. Take a look at who you surround yourself with, look at your lifestyle, look at your employment, look at your areas of verbiage you use daily. Because in my belief, along with my beautiful, beautiful uncle, we sat down one day in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and talked about communication skills. And Ish and I had a lot of interesting thoughts to this communication process we all share. So let's break it down to 7 ways of communication. The first 2 ways of the story are very easy. I have my side of a story and you have yours. Doesn't mean either side is wrong or right. It just means that you have your side and I have mine. Now, as we communicate, we might not always agree, and it's okay to disagree. But as we communicate, your side of a story and my side of a story, eventually, it always happens, will come together. And as they come together, what people hear from our communication shall change. It shall affect each person differently. Because within your side of the story and my side of the story evolves an area of energy, as my uncle and I determined, is known as the spin. The spin deals with gossip, deals with what your friends think of what your current situation is. All these things that create a energy of shadow, one may say. In other words, some people just like to stir the pot up, cause conflict. Misery likes company. How many of you had to look at yourself to understand that the true problem lies within yourself. So we have the spin. The next thing that we have is the truth that comes out of that spin. And just because something's true doesn't necessarily mean it and make it a fact. That might be a little confusing to some of you. Just because it's true doesn't make it a fact. Example, what color is fire? Some people might say red, some people might say orange, some might say yellow, some might say it has no color. And that's the truth, because it's a gas. Prior to color, there's a gas. So even though it's true, it's not the fact. And that's what comes out of sometimes those areas of our spin, our communication. Now on the vice side of it, we have the fact, and just because it's a fact doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Same scenario. Same realization. So we have your side of a story, my side of a story, we have the spin, we have the truth, and the fact. Now what comes out of that next is highly important, because these are the last two parts of the equation. My ability to take responsibility for not communicating properly. Let's rewind that. The last two parts of this 7-part equation is the personal responsibility that you have, as well as I have, to communicate properly. In other words, am I going to stay with you long enough that at least you can understand most of my viewpoints, if not all? Am I going to break it down simple enough that you can understand? Or am I going to be able to speak in terms that you are capable of understanding? It's important to know. It's important to recognize within ourselves. If I can't communicate properly with you, then I sure as heck can't communicate with me. How many of you are willing to sit down and communicate with yourself? How many of you are willing to sit down and communicate with others? How many of you truly would just like to be able to speak your mind? Allow yourself to move into a direction of truth. Move into a direction that allows all of us to become one. One source, one light, one conscious, one truth. So we all may be able to reach out and shake hands with our brothers and sisters this day. 7 sides of a story. Your side, my side, the spin, the truth, and the fact. And my personal responsibility to you, as well as your personal responsibility to me. That's as simple as it gets in communication. The question is, how simple can you be? This is Balanced Toe. Thank you for taking the time to stop in today and visit and hear what I had to say. I appreciate each and every one of you. And like I always say, each Allah way, we all return.